This is their This is their Hey everyone, welcome back to Sham's Makeup Artistry. It's time to share my December favorites with all of you. Of course, we are into a new year, but I did not want to miss sharing with you some of the stuffs that I've been enjoying throughout the month of December 2017. So let's just get started. I, of course, have been enjoying my Dior Forever foundation, which I do not want to again and again share it with you, but I just had to mention it. This foundation has been my go-to foundation for a couple of months just because I find that it works really well for my skin. At the same time, I kind of feel that it gives me the best coverage that my face needs. And I've not been able to really put down this foundation, and I had to mention it just because of that. But for the month of December, I've also been trying out two other foundations, and of course they kind of slided into the month of January. So I would like to share that with you. And the very first one is the Nars. This is their Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, and I'm in the shade Tahoe. And I've been using this foundation from December, and then of course again slided to the month of January, and I've been really liking this foundation. Of course, I did mention in my review it's not like a must-have foundation for some of you, but I kind of felt that it is a pretty decent and nice foundation, so I have to mention it to all of you. And for me, I find that this foundation works the best for dry to combination to normal skin more than oily skin girls. I do not find it like being a long wear, a matte foundation like some of the matte foundation that are out there. It's much more luminous kind of finish, and it doesn't really get you oily and ugly. But it does bring out the oil if you have more to combination and oily skin. It does pull through throughout the day, but it doesn't make you look awful. That's why I decided to pick this out as one of my favorites, because I've been reaching out for this foundation anyway for the month of December. And the other thing that I liked about this foundation is a little goes a long way. You do not need tons of the foundation, you need tiny little bit, and it goes a long way. And I kind of like applying this foundation with my Real Techniques brush, and then I just press it in with my beauty blender, and that works the best for me. The next foundation that had been kind of a favorite of mine for the month of December, because I've been using it, pretty much trying it out, has to be from Elcie, and this is their Micro Silque Foundation, and this is how the packaging itself looks like. This one, a lot of the shades have been sold out forever, and then they recently came out with those shades, so I decided to pick out one, and I'm in the shade Butterscotch, and it's a 30 ml of product, and of course it's made in the USA, and this is owned by a makeup artist, and her name is Lilith. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. That's how I personally address her. When I got this foundation in my mail, I was almost getting into an heart attack, because the foundation shade, when you look at the bottle itself, it kind of gives you that kind of feeling. It looks so light, and I was like, this is never ever going to match my skin tone. It's a wrong shade, because I did ask them some recommendation for an NC45 in MAC shade range, so they kind of recommended this particular shade, so I thought it would be just nice for me. But when I saw the bottle, I was like, how am I going to return it? Is it going to be an hassle? Do I need to take all the time? Because it's not like, you know, Sephora, you just return it, or Ulta, you just have to go and return it. But this is the foundation I'm actually wearing over my face area. It kind of freaks you out even when you're applying on the face. It looks white, and it looks like it's not going to give you any kind of coverage. So I was kind of feeling, oh my goodness, it's such a disaster, and why did I ever purchase this foundation? But as I was working on with this foundation, I tried with my beauty blender. This foundation somehow did not work with my Hangover Too Faced primer. I do not know why. It kind of like swiped everything away. And of course, for me, at the first point, it was a bummer. And then I started using it with my Farcelli. This is their Unicorn Essence. This is the mini version. So I was using this particular primer all over my face. And then I used my Real Technique brush to buff in and then blend it into my skin. Yet I did not feel like I was so impressed while I was applying it. And then I looked at my mirror after applying my entire makeup. I kind of felt like, oh no, this foundation looks so flawless on my skin. I thought it did not provide any kind of coverage, and I just thought that it's just wasting my time trying out this foundation. But no, this foundation, it looks like you do not have any coverage and it doesn't look good on the face, but once you're done with your makeup, it kind of like sets everything in like a miracle magic kind of foundation, and it wears beautifully on the skin. Like I mentioned, this is the foundation that I have over my face area today, and I've been really liking this foundation. I personally feel that this foundation again is not a matte foundation like the Nars one. The Nars one, they do claim that it's a long wear foundation, but this one doesn't say anything like that. It's a long wear foundation also. But I feel that this foundation is a luminous finish foundation. For those of you who have combination to dry skin, you will definitely love this foundation. For oily skin girls, you may want to try it with a matte primer because it gives a lot of luminous kind of finish to the face area. If you can see my face right now, I'm not like matte. I do look like a little bit shiny over my T-zone area. So this foundation, I don't know if I will wear this during summer, because during summer my skin tend to get a little bit more oily. But during colder months, this foundation is a beautiful foundation to have. Now, enough rambling about foundations. That took me forever. Now let's move on to eyeshadows. I have 3 eyeshadow palettes that I've been using the heck out of them for the month of December. The very first one has to be from Dose of Colors, and this is their Sassy Siennas Holiday Collection eyeshadow palette. They do come with 5 different shades, and I am totally sold to these matte shades. They are really beautiful, so blendable, so wearable, and I just did not put down this palette. When it comes to matte shade, I just very quickly pick up this palette. Every other shades in this palette is so pigmented. When it comes to matte shade, especially lighter shades, I kind of fear when it comes to my skin tone whether or not it would pull up well, but they all blend in so beautifully. They're kind of like very buttery, smooth. This is the very first time I'm purchasing eyeshadows from Dose of Colors, and I must say I'm really impressed. These are the 5 shades that are in this particular palette. You must check this out. I believe this is their holiday collection, so it might disappear. I'm not too sure about that, but you may want to check this out. It's also available at Ulta Beauty. I got mine at Ulta Beauty, both the shades. The second one, which was Blushing Berries, I do have it here, which I'm still trying out. So the second palette that I've been enjoying throughout the month of December, and of course even now I've been enjoying this palette, has to be the Huda Beauty Smokey Obsession. I was really hesitant to get these eyeshadows because I do have her larger versions of eyeshadows, which I am not like 100% fan of them. I kind of feel that they are like hit or miss. Certain shades work really nice, certain shades not so. So I wasn't very keen, but I decided to try this one because they are in mini sizes, and I really love the mini sizes much more than her larger version of eyeshadow palettes. This one again is the Smokey Obsession, and this is how all the shades inside the palette looks like. I pretty much have dug into the middle one like crazy. I really love the shade. This is what I'm having all over my lid area. It kind of like an everyday smoky eye look, and I really love it. That's the only shade I have, blending it in with the Sassy Siennas palette, like all the neutral shade, and I'm good to go for the entire day. Most of the days, this is how I've been wearing my makeup, and I've been really liking them. So this palette is something that you guys will want to check out, especially the smoky version. I did check out the mauvey one, the brown one, and then the colored ones, which I felt that the colored ones are not right up my alley. And then the brown and the mauves are pretty much like droopable, so I decided to go with the smoky one. The other eyeshadow palette that I have to give like a hands off clap and a shout out has to be from ViseArt, and this is their Golden Hour eyeshadow palette. I've been eyeing on this one for some time, and I decided to get this during Christmas time, and I've been really liking this eyeshadow palette. This is about $47, and I kind of feel that it's totally worth the buy. It does come with a sensible mirror, which helps us to actually look at ourselves, not just bending downwards. Most of the palette mirror just bends down and then it doesn't make sense at all. So this palette does come with 9 different shades. There are some mattes in here, and then the rest are shimmery eyeshadows. They're kind of really wearable for an everyday kind of look. At the same time, you can just smoke it out, amp it up, and they do blend in really, really beautifully. So I personally have been loving this one. I kind of felt that they are totally worth the buy. Comparing it to many large palettes, sometimes they have many other colors in them. Not everything suits like every other person, but this one is a beautiful one to have. And the packaging itself is beautifully sturdy and well made. Now let's move on to highlighters. I have 2 highlighters to share with you that I've been enjoying throughout the month of December. The very first one is the Nars Man Ray. This is their double take highlighter. That is the highlighter I'm having over my face area, blended in with another highlighter that has been my favorite. So this highlighter is a limited edition one. It does come in like lips kind of embossing. It's a beautiful highlighter. When you swatch it, it looks like it's a very, very subtle highlighter, but over the face area, it is really, really beautiful. If you guys can see right here, and like I mentioned, I do have them over my face area. So this has been my go-to highlighter. I have been really liking this one. And the other highlighter that has been my most favorite one for the month of December has to be the Dose of Colors. This is their Fuego highlighter. I took ages to pronounce it, like it's so difficult. I believe this is from the Daisy Perkins collaboration with Dose of Colors, and these highlighters are beautiful highlighters. Again, I think it's Daisy Perkins and also Luster Luxe. Don't quote me on that if I'm not right, but I believe so I'm right. And this highlighter is a beautiful highlighter. You definitely got to check this out. If it's available, I'll link them down in the description bar below. It's a beautiful highlighter, definitely wearable on all skin tone. Very much, when you swatch it again, it looks very, very subtle, but over the skin, it looks really beautiful. So this is the Nars one, and then this is the Dose of Color Fuego highlighter. Like I mentioned, this is what I have all over my face. I kind of like blend in both, and then I apply over my face area as an highlighter. Now let's move on to lip stuff. I do not have much to share with you because pretty much it has been the same rotation throughout the months that I've been using nude. So of course it has to be the Huda Beauty Trendsetter, which I do not want to repeatedly show you guys. The other lipstick that I've been enjoying throughout the month of December has to be a MAC lipstick. This one is their matte lipstick in the shade Chili. I have been really loving this shade. This one looks pretty much like a reddish orange, but it does have like a brick tone to it, and I've been obsessed with this shade. When it comes to MAC, their matte lipsticks doesn't dry up the lips. They wear beautifully on the lips, and that's the thing we all want. When it comes to a matte lip, you want it to look matte, but you do not want it to dry up your lips. And Chili from MAC is something that all of you must try. It does work well with every skin tone in my opinion. They look really, really beautiful. So you guys have to check this one out. The other lip product that I've been enjoying is from the Jouer. This is their holiday collection, the mini version, in the shade Aubergine, and I've been really liking this one. This one does wear pretty much like a brownish purple on my skin tone. This is a mini version which works well for me because sometimes we do not use up everything at one go, so a mini version is helpful. And this is how the lip shade looks like. I am a fan of Jouer's lip cream. They kind of wear very beautifully on the lip. Again, these are something that I look forward to because they do not dry up my lips. So I've been enjoying this one when it comes to a nudish, purplish kind of deep tone lip. And of course, I've been liking my Fenty Beauty Uncensored Lip Stain. But I kind of feel like this is a pain to apply them because of the applicator, which looks like this. Of course, it looks like a nail polish applicator, but this is how it looks like. It kind of like gets everywhere. And this lip stuff do bleed on me. I have to use like a lip liner. I kind of tried with the MAC red lip liner. It somehow doesn't work out for me. It still bleeds. But I did try out again with the NYX red lip liner and it works much better. I kind of like lined my entire lips, filled them in, and then I put on this stuff. Again, I wish that the applicator was a little bit different. I don't know why. It's such a beautiful red. I have no complaints on the texture, on the beauty of the shade at all. But I kind of felt like why the applicator was made so different that it kind of like pisses me off. If that does make sense to you guys. So that's that, my update with Fenty Beauty. Now lastly, before I end my December favorites, I like to share with you an holy grail concealer that I found myself. I've been like dying to find and try many concealers that would work for my dry under eye area. Of course, I love my Nars concealers, but I definitely want to try out new ones. And I've been really liking the Becca. This is the Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer. I have two. I have one in the shade Warm Honey and the other one in Tan. So I use Warm Honey just to cancel out the darkness and Tan to highlight my entire face. These concealers are so perfect if you have dry under eye area. They blend in so beautifully, gives you the luminosity to the under eye area. It looks like you have it kind of looks healthy under your eye area, and I've been really loving this one. This one is definitely a must try, but if you're looking out for something like a heavy coverage like the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer, which I'm still predicting it, this would not be it. This kind of gives you a much more natural finish to your eye area and your face area, more than a high coverage kind of concealer. So I do hope that you found my December favorites being helpful for you guys to pick out some of the stuffs to try out. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down on the comment box below. To my very next one, stay beautiful both inside and out. Give me a thumbs up, share all your love and support, and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.